Right then, this is a quick walk around video for a lovely CRV. This is a Honda CRV 2.2 EX automatic diesel. It's covered just 57,000 miles, finished in this lovely passion red pearl, which the video never does justice to. It really needs to be seen in the flesh on different days, different lights. It's absolutely glorious. Car's in fantastic condition. You can see from front there, lights and lenses clear, intact, no cracks or condensation in those. It's just been starting to sprinkle with rain, which I apologise for, but the bonnet is very clean, can't see any obvious stone chips. Coming down the near side, passenger side, lovely and smooth in the panel work. Near side front alloy, really clean. Near side rear alloy, again, likewise. Bump corners, again, very clean indeed. Off side of the car, driver's side, again, very smooth indeed on the panels. Offside rear alloy, absolutely lovely. And then coming to the front, and all very clean and tidy. I mean, it really is in lovely condition for the age and mileage of the vehicle. So coming to the boot area, which is enormous on the CRVs, quick folding rear seats. You see the tonneau cover there. Also nice to see load liner fitted, and obviously that helps to protect the carpeted area underneath, which looks pretty much as new. Coming into the back of the car, wide opening rear doors gives you access. Leatherwork is in fantastic condition, I have to say. Quite often the back of these CRVs can be really heavily used, where the kids sit, but this one's been given a very gentle life indeed. And the leg room's incredible. Those front seats are set for me, and I'm over 6 foot tall. Just coming to the front, again, all really clean and tidy. Passenger seat on the front there, not been given an awful lot of use. Finally come to the driver's door card, again, all really nicely kept. Footwell area is nice and clean. The driver's seat, which one would expect to see lots of wear on, shows virtually nothing at all. So inside the car now, engine's running through in this section, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. The dashboard looks pretty much as new. Sat nav, you can see there, working absolutely perfectly. If I pop the car into reverse, get that lovely clear gridded parking camera, all working perfectly. If you're stationary and with your handbrake on, you can actually watch films through that, by the way, as well. Everything's been kept very well indeed. And up to the dash binnacle, 57,224 miles, and there are no warning lights at all on the dashboard whilst the engine's running. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CRV 2.2 EX automatic diesel. This particular car is registered YE14FPC, and mileage at the start of the road test is 57,218 miles. The reason we do all of our videos is essentially so that if anyone is online looking at any of our cars, they get to see the car advertised actually in operation. The reason we feel it's important is because we know how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look perfectly good in photographs in the description, only to find I'm just going to concentrate on getting past these cyclists, only to get there and find out that there's got a fundamental issue which shows up whilst driving the car. So hence that's why we do it. We also do it on these generally very quiet country roads. It's a lovely part of Gloucestershire. And this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, so hopefully then it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, it's been very well maintained, feels it straight away, it feels incredibly tight and taut, which is good. Engine starts, push button start on top of the range cars, starts instantly, settles to completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. I try where I can, and have done in this case, to do the videos when the engines are cold, and then obviously you can see it between the hot and cold, because sometimes faults can show up at different temperatures quite clearly. so that's why we do it. But the engines are superb diesel engines. Everything you hope for from a Honda engine, in the sense that it's their reputation is that they give very, very reliable, long-lasting service. The toughest engine out there in its class by a long way, and the most reliable in normal operation, and just regular maintenance generally keeps them that way. But that's only half the story, because they just drive so nicely. It's not always a given, unfortunately, that a diesel and automatic will pair nicely together. They should, but they don't always. You can get some autos which are over fussy, makes the engine rev up and down like mad. But because of the natural kind of guts of the engine, in terms of how it pulls, this one isn't one of those. And when it does rev, it does so very quietly and smoothly. Only really noticeably a diesel, when it's at sort of very low speed. But even a Honda can't engineer that, out of the diesel combustion. What I've always loved about this diesel engine is the fact that, unlike so many diesels, which can kind of, I don't know, lull you into thinking basically that they've got more power than they have, because they pull away initially very quickly, but then the power just dies away very quickly because they rely on the turbo too much. This one, as I said, has a natural guts to it, so it can pull through the entirety of its rev range if needs be and give you good power all times. It's just a lovely unit. Engine then feeds into the auto gearbox. The auto gearbox is, as I said, a beautiful match for the engine. That gearbox, by the way, harks back to the old Honda Legend, actually, their flagship car, because Honda, when they launched the original diesel auto CR-V a few years back, didn't have an automatic that was man enough to deal with the torque of the engine. So rather than go to the expense of developing a brand new gearbox, basically it's engineering overkill, they used the gearbox out of the Legend, which is a 300 horsepower monster of a car, really, which probably goes to explain why we've never touched one of those gearboxes in operation. They're incredibly tough. Notwithstanding reputation, rather, you should still do the same checks with any automatic gearbox. Just make sure when you select gear there's no kind of clunks or delays in engagement. Also, that there shouldn't be all the gear changes should be smooth, and they certainly are, so it's absolutely spot on. But a lovely gearbox. Steering of the car, really nice on the CR-Vs, nicely weighted, makes the car feel really solid and secure on the road, and very, very car-like in the way it feels. The car just drives, unlike a lot of other kind of SUVs of this vintage, where they tend to make them quite truck-like in the way they operate. The CR-V isn't like that at all. It is very car-like, which means it's precise, it's accurate, follows it faithfully wherever you want it to go, and it's just nice at all speeds for manoeuvring. It also tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit, so all good there. Suspension of the car, again, really nicely done. The CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, and there's a very good reason for it. It's the way it drives, not only its reliability. So driving along now, you've got this lovely, compliant, comfortable ride that absorbs pretty much all the bumps very well indeed. But when you get through the corners like the ones ahead, which are slightly sort of yumpy corners, slightly off camber, this one's a long sweeper, the next one coming up is a bit tighter. Again, a lot of cars of this type, you have a lot of body motion going on, and this one is particularly nasty because it kind of just hops through the middle of the corner, but that just deals with it beautifully well. And it's particularly important for the rear seat passengers, because they're the ones that tend to have should have a head in a book, of course, but for anything like our kids, probably in their phone. But it can be quite nauseating, but they don't get that kind of motion with ease. Brilliantly done. I'm also listening out for, on road tests, any kind of mechanical noises, any clunks or rattles coming from the suspension, and there's nothing at all. It's absolutely silent in that respect. Brakes in the car, I'm just going to hold on to my things, going to give the brakes a bit of a shove and make sure no one's directly behind me. A really good solid brake pedal. Particularly important to check on automatics, because the brakes are doing more of the work than they would do in a well-driven manual car. but there's no kind of pulsing or vibrations at all coming back through the brake pedal, so all fine there. Coming inside the car, the first thing you notice with pretty much every CR-V is they are a brilliantly put together car. The squeaks and rattles are rare indeed, and they take the miles incredibly well. Like this one, I mean, it's not been cleaned yet, but when it's clean, and it is clean already, it hardly needs it, but it's just in lovely condition in here. But they're also a really nice car to sit in and operate. We own one, so this is a bit of a busman's holiday for me jumping in the car. But you've got a dashboard which is really simple and easy to use. You've got brilliant visibility in the car. I can actually see the bonnet of the car, which is a rarity in modern cars. Got these massive, almost truck-like wing mirrors, so it's very confidence-inspiring. You get to feel exactly what's going on around you at all times, especially on sort of motorway and busy roads. But the dashboard itself, is laden with equipment, but it's simple and easy to operate. You've got a sat-nav working perfectly, you've got air conditioning pumping out ice cold air, and you can have different temperatures side to side because it's dual zone. Heated seats, again, all working exactly as they should. Dashboard in front, binnacle, simple, easy, legible dials, nicely presented. Temperature gauge, by the way, now runs a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car. Steering wheel, nice and small in diameter and leather bound, feels pretty much as new to hold as well. But a really lovely place to sit, and all the functions working exactly as they should. One button you don't get in a CR-V, even one that's four-wheel drive like this one, is a four-wheel drive button, because basically the car does it for you. Honda worked out that most of its customers drive as I am today, in perfectly good conditions where you don't need four-wheel drive operating. Because the problem with permanent four-wheel drive, of course, is by definition it's permanently on. So you're going to get through your tyres more quickly, use more fuel, and put more mechanical stress to the car. This basically works front wheel drive the whole time. Should the front wheels lose grip on a bit of snow or ice or something, it automatically brings in the rear wheels seamlessly to give you four wheel drive, and it's bulletproof in operation. As always, just to say, the car drives perfectly, cannot fault it in any way, shape or form. But as always, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate, do give us a call.